Weekend insights for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network meteorologist Danielle Noyes here, and it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. We've got a chilly, raw Saturday on the way. Storm center is going to be right over us. Strongest wind gusts at the coast. Wave heights will build rapidly. There'll be pockets of rain, tapering to showers. Just kind of a gloomy day. Sunday's much better, but it's not perfect. Another disturbance is coming in, so we're going to time that out together coming up. Quick update on the drought monitor. No big changes compared to last week. That said, there's been a little southwestward expansion of the severe areas of drought in northeastern Massachusetts, stretching back up into southern New Hampshire, and a little westward expansion of moderate drought along the 495 belt. So that's all of eastern Massachusetts, extending now into northern Rhode Island too. So those are the big changes. We could use some rain. We're going to get some this weekend. Meanwhile, more and more of you continue to sign up, and we are so grateful for your support of our independent mission. Membership.onedegreeoutside.com to see our membership levels and what's included. Shout out to our 1 Degree Outside champion, Sawyer. Infrared.com, inspection services, gas imaging, acoustic imaging, Dave Sawyer services all of New England. Reach out for details. Gate City Reflexology and Massage. Feel good inside and out. This is up in Nashua, New Hampshire. Make your appointment today. And O'Brien's Garden Center in Danvers, Massachusetts. They are open and everything is thriving. Great plants and bushes and flowers. Check out their Facebook page for more information. All right, predictive radar. Tomorrow morning, you're waking up. Now, admittedly, the storm center is coming right over us, so there will be some lulls, but watch what happens by the time we get to mid to late morning. The rain in northern New England swings south. And yes, cold enough with the precipitation coming down hard enough that we get some wet flakes that mix in. I'm going to show you the accumulation map coming up for the White Mountains. Notice by mid to late morning, areas of rain filling in, kind of rotating in. Now, the clear exception, far northern and western New England, we're more removed from the storm center. And even in eastern Massachusetts, we taper the steadiest rain in the morning to midday to leftover showers, pockets of rain, but it will be an onshore wind. Look at the temperatures, only in the 40s to lower 50s. So it is generally about 15 to 25 degrees below average for this time of the year. I do think a few breaks of sun are possible through the interior that may boost us into lower 60s. Even late in the afternoon, notice from the South Shore, Cape Ann down to Cape Cod, some lingering showers before clearing will come in through the late evening and the overnight. Here's a map on Sunday. Quiet, beautiful start in the morning. Sun, clouds, temperatures running in the upper 40s to low 50s, rising into the 60s to lower 70s. But what this? Yes, upper level energy coming through is going to bubble up some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm on Sunday afternoon, mid to late afternoon, swinging through until the evening. So kind of hit or miss stuff, but the action does become more scattered, you notice, over the course of Sunday late afternoon and right on through the evening hours. So it is a day to be weather aware as well, knowing that there's an increasing risk of these showers and downpours popping up, especially from the afternoon onwards. How much rain falls? There's going to be a little stripe of about 1 to potentially 2 inches. I do think this storm, by the way, on Saturday is going to feature some surprises. There's just so much energy, which we talked about all week with this blowing through. Half an inch in general to maybe 3/4 of an inch here hugging eastern Massachusetts, and then more removed in western and southwestern New England. It's really only a few hundredths to perhaps a few tenths. Same for far northern and eastern Maine. I played things through on Sunday, and you notice we add a little bit with some of those showers and downpours coming in. Snow, yes, we talked about that too. Now you do notice there's a little bit of gray outside of the White Mountains. This says to me there are likely to be some wet snowflakes that mix in Saturday morning, but the accumulation is going to be generally defined with elevation in the White Mountains, right? Mount Washington, the snow is going to be flying above about 4,000 feet in some of these spots. You may get a coating to an inch, particularly at the peaks and the summits over the course of pre-dawn Saturday through the morning hours. Now let's talk wind, because that is going to be a pretty prominent feature of this system. I'd say the biggest uncertainty, this is the max gust estimate, this swath. And it does look like inland we get some gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour. The biggest question is how far inland do those strong gusts penetrate? Notice at the coastline, New Hampshire seacoast, southern Maine, Essex County, Cape Ann, the south shore of the Cape, that's where we may get some 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts, you notice. And why the uncertainty? I want to show you the wind at 6,000 feet, so above our heads. We've got a strong low-level jet right above us that's going to be whipping 55 to 65 miles per hour. So the question is, how much of that strong wind above us will be able to mix down to the surface? You notice it swings through from north to south. And yes, some of these deeper reds and almost magentas here indicate those 65 mile per hour winds. So when we get that to come down to the surface, that's when we have some of those strong wind gusts. And you'll notice it here at the surface. It's really also a quick tick up in the gusts too. Notice during the morning, you wake up, okay, it's 10 miles per hour, maybe 20 miles per hour. But look at this gust that shifts through. It's almost like a band that ticks up 40 to 50 miles per hour over the course of the morning, either side of midday in eastern Massachusetts, gusts around 40 in Worcester. Look at that quick gust up 50 to 60 miles per hour at the coast that shifts south. So then after the strong wind, it does ease substantially after that core comes in. Cape and the Islands, it's through early to mid-afternoon. May have some isolated gusts to 60 on Nantucket, but 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts will be pretty common. And then notice how quickly it does diminish through the evening hours. Still a few gusts up around 40. So with leaves on the trees now, the wind out of the north-northeast, that will increase the chance of at least some pockets of wind damage, maybe some limbs that come down, and potential outages, particularly right along the immediate coastline. It also means mariners, as you're heading out early on Saturday morning, you'll think, okay, 2 to 3 foot seas. This is the map at 4 a.m. Watch what happens with this storm center going by and that strong core of wind. We quickly ramp up the seas 6 to 10 feet in the matter of a couple of hours on Saturday morning, and then 10 to 14 foot seas, Scituate Light, Eastern Point, to Wilkinson Basin, even offshore, we're like 10 to 12 feet. So near shore, offshore, it's a quick tick up in the seas and a changing wind direction too out of the north-northeast on the back side of it. Those seas do remain elevated like 6 to 8 feet, particularly early on Sunday, and then we'll ease after that. Start of next week, it's more like 1 to 3 footers near shore and some 4 to 6 foot seas, both on Monday and Tuesday. So changing conditions out on the water, particularly Saturday morning through the afternoon. After that, we talked about this actually in pattern predictions the beginning of the week. The pattern's a little bit blocky, a little bit kind of caught up. We've got this big ridge all the way up into central Canada, and then we've got this dip in the jet stream, this trough right across the northeast in New England. And watch what happens. These additional kind of spokes of energy and disturbances come along it. It kind of cuts off heading into the start of next week. And then there are some signs that it will ease a little bit and maybe allow for some warmth to come back into play, particularly towards the end of next week. So bottom line is it does stay a little bit unsettled. And I'll show you here, it doesn't mean it's a washout, but Monday features maybe a shower in the morning, breaks of sun, some interior showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm in western New England. Tuesday, ooh, nice start, sunshine, but then we bubble up clouds, we bubble up some scattered showers, maybe even a few downpours. And then I do think Wednesday we stabilize a little bit. An onshore wind will be more cooler at the coast each day with sunshine and some building clouds through the far interior. So definitely a day to be weather aware for Monday and Tuesday too, with some showers popping up from time to time. Temperatures on Saturday, you saw it when I showed you the hourly. They're not getting out of the low 50s in spots, around 60 in western New England overnight. 40s, 30s in the north with a touch of frost. I've shaded it in blue in the map for the far northeast kingdom, northern New Hampshire, northwest Maine, and maybe even 2 across southern Vermont in a few patches where the temperatures dip into the mid-30s. Sunday, up around 70, 60s to the north, so a much milder day. But again, that upper level energy swings through, so watch for a pop-up shower, downpour, thunderstorm, more numerous during the afternoon and evening. 40s and 50s, no frost to worry about in the north country Sunday night. Monday, coolest at the coast and onshore wind, low 70s through the interior with the chance of a shower, and you can track your city or town right in our free 5-star weather app. Download it today. Search 1 Degree Outside Weather in the App Store and Google Play. Maybe you're watching this right now on our 24/7 streaming network, literally anytime, anywhere. 1degreeoutside.live. Tap the home screen of our app or on your smart TV. Open up the YouTube app and search 1 Degree Outside Network. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you with Weekend Edition Saturday morning.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this 1 Degree Outside video.
Get exclusive content, support the mission at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. And don't forget, free and 5 stars on the App Store and Google Play. Search the number 1 Degree Outside Weather.